continues. And now we return to the intimate portrait of LeAnn Rimes. It may have been fate that Bill Mack, a well-known Dallas disc jockey and songwriter, received an audio cassette of LeAnn singing the Star-Spangled Banner in 1991.
When I first heard it, I thought, this girl is 9 years old, 10 years old. I thought somebody was joking me.
In the 1960s, Mack had written a song called Blue. He hoped country legend Patsy Cline would record it, but she died in a plane crash in 1965. He put the song away until he heard LeAnn sing.
When I saw her walk on stage, I literally got chills. She had that soul in her that Patsy had. But at the same time, I noticed that she was individual. She had her own style.
Bill Mack sent a copy of his song, Blue, to LeAnn's dad.
And my dad told me he'd gotten a song in and he threw it away because he didn't like it. And I said, well, can I hear it? So I dug it out of the trash and listened to it. I don't know what it was, but for some reason I knew I could sing it the way that it should be, should be done.
At that time, LeAnn's career was being managed by her father and Texas attorney Lyle Walker. They arranged for LeAnn to record an album, and she insisted on including Blue.
LeAnn said, Dad, please, I want to do that song. And like most dads, said, well, whatever the daughter wants. but LeAnn chose it.
In 1994, Mike Curb, chairman of Curb Records, heard LeAnn's rendition of Blue, and he didn't waste any time offering her a record deal.
I called her manager at the time, Lyle Walker, and he arranged for LeAnn and her father Wilbur and her mother Belinda to meet us in Tennessee the next day. They drove up from Texas.
LeAnn Rimes signed with Curb Records in May 1995. She was only 12 years old. LeAnn's career was moving forward, but she had some problems back home in Texas.
School became really tough for me with kids when, girls can be very catty, and girls gave me a really hard time from about 5th grade on. I made straight A's. I think I was a good kid and teachers loved me, and I had a great relationship with everybody, and so all the girls didn't like me too much.
There's a lot of hype in the school about LeAnn, what she was doing, and newspaper clippings and magazine articles, and so I think with all of that around one child, that kind of sets things up for possible jealousy and resentment and poking fun of and names and just that really uncomfortable feeling that you don't want to have at school.
LeAnn decided she needed a change.
Once I got my record deal, which was in 6th grade, I was really, about to go on the road and start really, taking the next step into to what I wanted to do. So I really started homeschooling, and I skipped 2 grades and moved straight to 9th grade. So I went to high school when I was 12.
In May 1996, Curb Records released LeAnn's first single. It was Blue. The record caused an instant buzz.
When I heard that voice, it definitely didn't match up this little girl. It was the, I think the soulfulness of her voice for that song. It was just incredible.
There was no way you could listen to her on the radio and believe that she was the age that she was. There's no way that you could.
It was intoxicating to hear such a raw talent come out of somebody that young.
Sales went through the roof, and the record flew up the charts.
So lonesome I could cry.
Most recording artists usually have 5 or 6 singles that maybe do not hit before they get their first real career record. Blue was the first release, and it was huge.
With the instant success of Blue, LeAnn was in demand. And on June 11th, 1996, she kicked off her first concert tour in Nashville, Tennessee. From there, she and her parents hit the road. LeAnn was performing in a different city every night.
It was not a slow rise, it was a very fast rise. And everybody had to know who this kid was.
It took off so fast that we had to learn a lot really quick. And it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. It was exciting, but it was, you know, it was overwhelming at times.
In the middle of the grueling touring schedule, LeAnn managed to squeeze in time to write a book with author Tom Carter called Holiday in Your Heart.
I didn't have any downtime at that moment, so we were kind of fitting that in. And we wrote a lot on the bus, and you know, we wanted to make it a fun, like, holiday story that had a really great message and that kind of based a little bit off of my life.
The book was made into a TV movie, which aired in December of 1997, starring LeAnn, playing the character of, well, LeAnn.
I'm sorry. Who did you say you were? I came off of a 168-day tour, and I learned my lines on set, and it was pretty terrifying at that time. It was really hard for me to learn, you know, to like get thrown into something that I'd never done before. I did plays when I was little, but never anything like that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, yeah. But you forgot to mention Roy Acuff and Bob Wilf.
You don't know them.
Take me back to Tulsa, Wabash, Cannonball.
What about Merle Travis?
16 tons, divorced me, old Mountain Dew.
Well, that was long before you was born. How do you know all this stuff?
Boys know baseball statistics. I know country. I grew up on it.
LeAnn's music career continued to soar. There was no stopping her, and there was no end in sight.
We did a TV special, and after she did this TV special, the headlines in the Hollywood Reporter were LeAnn Rimes bigger than Mary Poppins. And at that point, everybody believed that this is somebody very, very special.
LeAnn and her parents dealt with her celebrity the best they could, all the while striving to keep their tightly knit family together.
Her parents were very, very involved. Wilbur would do everything from producing records to arranging the records to driving the bus. And her mother really was a fantastic female influence for her.
Her mother is a rock. Belinda has been a rock in LeAnn's life since the beginning, and she just exudes strength.
Her parents kept LeAnn's image squeaky clean, shielding her from the typical tabloid exposés.
I was too young for them. I mean, I might have been linked up to Jonathan Taylor Thomas or something back then, but who knows?
But the exhausting schedule and relentless demands on her time finally started to wear LeAnn down. After a whirlwind year in the spotlight, the 13-year-old teen queen was starting to feel the stress that came along with her success.
I do think we overworked her.
Next, LeAnn's family is tested by her fame.
We were learning the business as well as trying to be mother and father, so it was challenging, very challenging.
And later, LeAnn's heartbreaking split with her biggest fan.
I think she was angry more at the situation than an individual.
When Lifetime's Intimate Portrait of LeAnn Rimes continues.
It was her dream come true.
The Grand Ole Opry?
Until a family tragedy
Grandma Keaton's had a bad spell.
forced her to make a choice.
It's like the biggest night of my life.
Bernadette Peters
You're gonna get where you're going. The question is, who's gonna be there with you?
and LeAnn Rimes starring as herself, based on her true story of hope and inspiration.
For you, Grandma. May you always have a holiday in your heart.
Holiday in Your Heart. Premieres at 9 tonight, part of Lifetime's Every Day's a Holiday.